Hey guys, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Brawl Stars. These are the Brawl Stats. So, to thank everybody for all the love of the last video, we have a very special treat that's going to come up just about now. If you type these keywords into Clash Royale's custom tournament page, you will be able to find multiple tournaments open that you can play in completely for free. You might have to scroll down through the list to find them, but there are going to be at least 6 to 7 open for many of these. I know a couple of them have changed up, but I know that these, for the most part, the majority of which, you can still type in and find free tournaments in the custom page. That is a thank you to anybody who did not know it, and move. Two things that we missed in our last video. First one being supers that stun, like Shelly, Primo, and Dynamikes, can interrupt other supers like Barley and Bulls. So you guys should keep that in mind the next time you have a Barley pouring in his super on the safe in Heist, that any special with a stun can interrupt his throwing before it gets any further. And the second thing that I learned that I thought was incredibly crazy is that bot matches grant XP. I don't know if it's a consistent thing, but I know for the few matches that I played and accidentally finished while I was trying to get some screenshots, we did manage to get a little bit of XP. Piper was just announced. She is an epic from what we were able to measure. She shoots around 11 tiles far. She is a sniper, and no, guys, sorry, Brawl Stars is still not on Android. That depressing thought being in our minds. Moving on. Smash and grab. Now, these are simple tips and tricks that I want you guys to keep in mind when you finally start playing this game. I know a lot of this seems like obvious stuff, but these are things that after playing for 3 weeks, especially in higher play, I'm stunned that I had to write these down and share them with you. I'm stunned that this has to be said, so don't get mad at me if you think that this is brain dead obvious. I've been playing the game, and if anybody who's played on my team that I really wish would hear this, here's this one's for you guys. Alright, so most characters in Smash and Grab are going to thrive. I can understand why they had that big tournament to announce it being Smash and Grab. You could really play with any of the characters and get a chance to be the star player. Try to play at your own skill set. I know that a lot of El Primo characters like to just rush out into the middle of the field and try to throw their fists around and get an easy kill, but it doesn't work, and you're just going to leave your team one man down as you respawn. And you got to anticipate for people going for gems. Again, this sounds like it's something easy and understandable, but a lot of people shoot where you are instead of where you're going to be, and the easiest mark of where someone's going to be is the floating gem in the middle of the map. And this is one of those things I thought I was not going to have to say, but for the love of goodness, when your team has the 10 gems required for the game over countdown to begin, stop trying to kill the enemy and start falling back. I only think that this should be stressed once or twice, so I'm going to move on to the next do, which is enemies cannot see you in the grass, so make sure that if you have the majority of the gems, if not all of the gems, that you hide in the grass. This helps because even if you had literally all the gems at that moment, if you are in the grass, they cannot see you during the countdown, and you can easily walk away with the win. And these are things that you do not want to do. You do not want to ignore Mortis. He is the smash and grab hack of all time. This guy will fly in, take it, fly at you, steal your cell phone to call your mom and tell her how chubby she's looking these days, and then fly back to his team. Another don't. This is for the Barley players out there. You do not want to stand in one spot spamming your basic. In Smash and Grab at the very least. In Smash and Grab, the Barley players or the Dynamite players who like to just stay on one side of the wall throwing dynamite become very one-dimensional and absolutely useless as a teammate. They are more like a turret from some archaic tower defense game, and this is just for you guys to know that you can do a lot more damage if you move. And one thing that is very critical for everybody to know in the final seconds is to stop rushing. Stop rushing to kill the enemies in the final seconds without your team, and stop rushing in a single file, guys. There's a lot of people whose epics can just pierce through people. So when you guys all huddle up behind that El Primo, it doesn't help. El Primo's gonna turn around and wonder why his friends are in pieces behind him, and he's by himself trying to get all the gems. And as obvious as it seems, this is really everything you guys need to worry about when you first start playing this game. Everything else is like Clash Royale. It builds within itself. Moving on. Bounty is not the worst game type in the world, but I do have to say it lets one of the weaker characters shine. This is definitely Colt's game type. Colt being the dual pistol wielder. His lines of sight and his angles normally for a lot of the maps are very difficult, but for bounty maps, which are a little bit smaller, he seems to really thrive. This being a game type where you have to survive and kill the other team, Poco is a must. If you're playing this in a group, make sure that somebody always takes Poco. Obviously, if it's a game of surviving, someone who can heal is the meta. You want to rotate your healthy guys. I know that there's a lot of Ricochet players out there. There's a lot of Barley players out there who get hit once or twice and they're very, very weak. And even those guys sometimes are going to have to get into the front lines and keep the team from getting pushed back. I know obviously these things, I've said it a million times, these are things that had to be mentioned after 3 weeks of playing this game. And you want to have a nice combination of a supportive tank with a range and flank. To say that in an English manner, you want to take an El Primo or a Bull. You want to have behind them somebody like a Shotgun Shelly or a Nita. And then for flanking, well, Nita would actually be really great for flanking, but you want to have a flanker like Ricochet, someone whose bullets are going to push the enemy out of their angles so that an El Primo can just push in and bowl people over with the help of someone like a Poco. So that would be, if you, in your ideal world, you'd have El Primo in the front, El Poco in the middle, and someone like Ricochet in the back. And that would be decent enough, maybe even a bow in the back. Those are the do's. The don'ts are the same as smash and grab. Stop rushing out there and getting killed over and over and over and over and over again. I know that it seems a little unfair that one person can get all the kills and someone can kill him near the end of the match and that team can win. I know that seems really broken, guys, but that doesn't mean that you should feed the enemy's stars. So, as with any game type, I've got 600 trophies and I still feel the need to say stop rushing out there, guys. Alright, and bounty maps being as tight as they are, allowing Colt to thrive, they also allow Primo to be a ultra nuisance. If you thought he was a nuisance when the game first came out, before Shelly was able to change things, sorry guys. Primo still dominates in this game type, and if you've ever played a MOBA before, then everything else about how to win is pretty self-explanatory. Moving on. Showdown. This is my favorite game type, and it also causes me the worst amount of anxiety in my spirit. This is the game type to be patient. This is where you want to take your time and collect power-up crates. You want to check the grass for camping Primos. Check the grass for camping Primos, guys. If I could get that tattooed across like my child's back so that someone would take seriously the sentence into which I'm stating. Check the grass for camping Primos. Tanky damage dealers are the supreme ones in this game type, that being the Shotgun Shellys, the El Primos, and the Bulls. These guys have enough health that they can manage to escape and rebuild their health. They can do enough damage to keep enemies away long enough, and that they can snap at the end of a game and do enough damage quickly to just finish it off for the win. There are obviously anybody you can win with. You can obviously win with anybody depending on who you are. But if you want the more comfortable experience of putting an effort in with the least amount of frustration, go for a Shotgun Shelly, an El Primo, or a Bull. A really fun thing to do is to wait for your enemies to lower the health of a box, and right as it's about to break, rush in and steal the same way a Mortis would. I've seen people take Mortis into Showdown and just steal Elixir and somehow have enough Elixir to do enough damage to win the game. And please ignore, I know someone's going to put it in the comment section below, I know it says that Shelly is not greater than Primo. You have to flip it, guys. You have to flip it. I had a typo and I forgot it. Shotgun Shelly is the ultra answer to El Primo in this game type. I have had the super satisfaction on numerous occasions of just running a few feet behind an El Primo and just shooting him dozens of times until he dies in the desert alone. I'm sorry, guys. Moving on. These are the don'ts now. Do not get into early battles. It's really, really dangerous for numerous reasons. One being there are the constant rotation of players who are trying to avoid everybody, and they will eventually get into the mix of a fight. Or if you are trying to get at a crate that another enemy is at, you run the risk of getting flanked by another person who doesn't care, has no alliances, and you don't want to stay in one place too long. Grass is the greatest place to be, but like I said before, those rotating troops that come trying to avoid everybody will bump into you eventually, and when someone bumps into you and you're not expecting it, you have very limited options, especially later in the game with the gas coming in to kill you. Do not chase. I know I just said I love chasing El Primos, but guys, if you're still watching this video, I want the one emotion to come through clear. I love killing El Primos in this game. I will put out a video of me just chasing down and hunting El Primos in Showdown. I'm going to do it. I will do it. That being said, a little technical thing to help you guys out. Do not go to the top left corner of the map, specifically because the super button is in the bottom right corner, and it will tie you up. I don't care if you're using someone as short-ranged as El Primo or someone as long-ranged as Ricochet and Colt. In this open game type that you can freely run around all the corners of the map, avoid the top left corner with all your graces. Moving on. Heist. Now, I know this is going to look a little humorous, or maybe it doesn't look humorous because I'm not funny and this looks satirical. But no, guys, this is serious. This is completely a serious do's and don't list of this game type. Do not play this game type. If it is the double XP weekend event and you have no choice to play it, then go as Barley or go as Dynamite, because you don't want to be that guy who's using Barley. But I don't know, I have seen with my own eyes on Twitter and Reddit full matches, 3-on-3s of Barleys, guys, and until Supercell figures out that this game type is not gonna work, we're gonna have to sit through it. The more we don't play this game type, the more they will realize that it is not working. So, you know, we can have a sit-in strike, guys. We could have the app running, but we don't have to play any of the game types if they're gonna force us to play this game. That aside, the don'ts of this obviously being you don't want to play this game type, you don't want to get mad because you're losing because everybody's using Barley, because that's the only person that matters in this game type. And, you know, guys, if you want to, you are more than welcome to share your images or videos of you winning if you are on defense. If you're the defensive team and you won, I want you to send me your screenshots. I want those pictures. I want those pictures. If you won on defense, I want proof. I want proof, because we're gonna host a parade for those brave spirits who actually didn't close the app as soon as it put them on defense. All jokes aside, moving. Now, this is pure speculation to a lot of people, but I have no life. I think I have enough of no life that I have played enough of all the characters that if anybody could give you some advice as to who's the most comfortable and who's the most uncomfortable, I'd hope you would at least take this part of my word for it. Showdown. The best characters to run with are obviously going to be Shotgun Shelly or El Primo. Their health, damage, and rate of being able to shoot again is just too dominant. If you play this game type, you will see nothing but Shotgun Shellys, Bulls, and El Primos, and the final four are normally El Primos and Shotgun Shellys. Usually the winners nowadays are Shellys. The worst to take into this game type are going to be Brock and Jesse. Brock's health is not going to be enough for the simple fact that he shoots a very thinly aimed rocket that does a lot of solid damage, guys. Brock does have a lot of solid damage, but for this game type, as with many other game types, he is just not gonna cut it. And Jesse's turret just doesn't. Jesse's special just does not cut it for a game type that's last man standing, unless she gets lucky and has a third person there to help flank alongside the turret. It's not going to work for Jesse. So don't take those two into the game type unless you have like some weird, unless you're a masochist and you want to have an awesome video on YouTube of you just screaming in anger at your mobile device, then yeah, go for Jesse and Brock. In Smash and Grab, the best characters are going to be Mortis, Bo, and Shelly. Shelly's going to be the best no matter what. She definitely should have been a rare. She is OP to be certain. And Mortis is an unbreakably broken character that there's nothing. Once they created him, there's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing they can do now that this character exists, except once you unlock him, go straight into Smash and Grab and keep going until your trophy count is infinity and beyond. The worst people to take into a Smash and Grab are usually just Brock. Now, Brock has the fantastic, incredibly tiny splash damage of his rockets that are insanely slow and easy to avoid. So the faster pace of a game type like Smash and Grab leaves Brock literally one of the only characters you definitely should not use unless you have used all your other characters and their counts are ridiculous. Now, Heist. I'm sorry, not Heist, Bounty. Bounty, here's the meta. Poco to heal, Bull to do everything he's got to do in terms of eat damage and scare people, Colt and Shelly. Any four of these characters and you are guaranteed to have not an easy time, but a better time. Alright, if that makes sense, guys. Poco is always a necessity. Colt, for this game type, for the maps that they have made so far, is wonderful, and you can literally take Shelly anywhere. She is the belle of the ball. I don't care what it says about Piper being it says Piper is always the belle of the ball, and then it says that Shelly is the belle of the brawl. So no, Shelly's the lady. She's the one to take. You know who's not good? Nobody. That's a wonderful thing about Bounty. You could go into Bounty with any character and you have a solid chance of winning. Yeah, you could take a whole team of Brocks and you actually stand a chance in Bounty. Moving on to my favorite, Heist. There's only one character in this game type, guys. There is literally only one character in this game type. And that's all there is to it. If you are going to play Heist and you have not selected Barley, what are you doing? What are you doing? I want to know. If you have a match, guys, here's another thing I want you to send me pictures of. And I wish I didn't say it like that because I'm regretting the pictures I'm going to get. If you have a match in Heist and you notice that there is nobody on offense or defense as Barley, I want you to post that on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, because you will become an overnight sensation. Because you found the leprechaun, guys. If you find a Heist moving on. Alright, so if you have the duplicate chips to unlock characters, these are the recommended suggestions for what you should do with them. The characters that you should definitely unlock the second you have enough coins to unlock them are going to be Mortis, Barley, and Bull, in that order. I know, by the time you have enough chips to unlock Mortis, you will have enough for Barley and Bull, and I put them there not as a misspelling. I thought it would be a joke to have barely, because I have beef with Barley. That's gonna be my new catchphrase, guys. So any rare like a Ricochet is gonna be someone that once you have enough coins, yeah, go for it, absolutely, if you have the duplicate coins for it. Now, the people that can wait are going to be the legendaries. There are so many characters in this game that are really, really fun to play as that it is absolutely insane for you to spend real money to unlock these legendaries. That the odds of you even getting it, guys, they're on the Reddit page. Obviously, people exaggerate sometimes, but somebody said that they spent $900 and somebody said that they spent $1,500, and neither one of them unlocked a legendary, guys. Do not do that to yourselves, and more than anything, do not waste those tokens on commons. To be absolutely certain, guys, you unlock most of the commons in the first week, so there is absolutely no reason to do that insanity to yourself, guys. And we are gonna wrap up this video right now with a unboxing of sorts. Yes, guys, I took the time to save up 1,000 coins so that we could open up this box together. I wanted it to be in this nice new format that I'm going to be trying. I'm definitely going to be trying these banners because they seem to pop. The problem is I am terrible with Photoshop, and it is so much of a crime someone should call a cop. And I am literally as terrible at shooting as Brock. Alright, guys, so as you can see, this is, the reason I wanted you guys to see this 10 box opening as well is because a lot of you are going to think about spending those gems to open these boxes, and I talk and I gripe about these boxes, but here you are, guys. This is 1,000 coins. To be honest, grinding it took me about 6 days, not even, maybe 5. So yeah, around 5 days to get around 1,000 coins. You could obviously do it a little bit sooner, but out of those 4 or 5 days, this is what I got, guys. This is me uninterruptedly showing to you what it was that I got after 4 to 5 days of saving this up for the specific purpose of sharing it with you. But alright, guys, that's my video. This is the information that I wanted to share with you, and I hope you are ready for the rest of the channel, which is going to be me showing you as much gameplay footage of Brawl Stars and as much awesome footage of Clash Royale as I can. I'm 20Fox, and I want you to smash that like button until your finger breaks.